I know the noise around you has been deafening, and that the voices of this century have tried to stifle the melody of my peace within you. I see the weariness in your eyes and the agitation that prevents you from truly resting, even when the clock strikes 3 in the morning and the silence of the house seems too heavy on your shoulders. You came seeking a place of rest, and the fact that you are here, listening to my voice now, is not by chance, but a meeting arranged in eternity. I called you to this moment because it is precisely in stillness that I begin to rebuild what the world has tried to break. There is a question that echoes deep in your chest, and that you don't have the courage to ask aloud. How long will your heart bear this weight alone? Today I will show you what happens when the doors of the world close and the windows of your soul open to my embrace. Thousands of my other daughters have already found here the strength they lacked to start over, and today it is your turn to experience this profound renewal. I will guide you on a journey of revelation that will transform your exhaustion into a peace that surpasses all human understanding. If what I am saying now is finding a home in your spirit, do something for me. Tell me your name, where in this world you live, and what time the clock shows there now, so that I may know at what moment my comfort reached you. At this moment, let your heart overflow and cry out sincerely, Lord my God, I present myself before you. I subscribe to this channel because I love you and my soul thirsts to hear your voice above any other. Stay with me until the last breath of this message. At the end, I will whisper a phrase that will serve as a key to open the doors that were locked, and I will give a clear answer that you have been seeking in prayer. Remember the prophet Elijah. He did not find me in the strong wind, nor in the earthquake or the fire, but in the sound of a gentle silence, as it is written in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 12. It is in this silence that I await you now. The world demands that you be strong all the time, that you race against time, and that you have answers for everything. But here, within this sacred mystery that we have created together, you need not be anything other than my beloved daughter. Silence is not the absence of sound, it is the total presence of my glory. When external voices fall silent, the beating of your heart begins to tell a story of overcoming that I myself wrote with letters of love. I feel the trembling in your hands when fear tries to take control, but know that I am holding each one of them while I recover your essence. But there's something you haven't yet realized about the invisible weight you've been carrying, a weariness that doesn't belong to your body, but to something much deeper that has been trying to steal your light. If the touch of my peace has already begun to calm the storm within you, show the world that you hear me. What is your soul surrendering into my hands at this very moment? Write in the comments our word of surrender, I surrender. And don't forget to share this spiritual refuge with someone else who also desperately needs to silence the world outside. Have you ever felt the air around you become dense, as if the sky above your head were made of bronze? I see it when you sit at the kitchen table, in that silence that seems to weigh tons, and you feel that your hope is hanging by a thread. It's a weariness that sleep doesn't resolve, a fatigue of the soul born from the excess of voices that demand from you, that judge you, and that whisper that your time to flourish has passed. I know well the trembling in your hands as you check the bills that don't add up, or hold the phone waiting for a loving message that never arrives. This invisible weariness is the thief that tries to steal your joy, whispering that your strength is gone and that the desert will be your permanent home. But listen carefully to what I tell you now. In this instant when the outside world cannot interrupt us, your exhaustion is not your end. It is the stage where my strength begins to manifest itself in a magnificent way. As it is written in the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28, I extend to you an invitation that the world would never make. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest that neither medicine nor money can buy. I don't ask you to be perfect or to smile all the time. I only ask you to be mine, and to surrender to me what steals your sleep. The noise of the world has tried to convince you that your worth lies in what you do for others, but I tell you that your worth lies in who you are to me. There is a weight you have been carrying that was never yours, a burden that people and circumstances placed on your shoulders and that you accepted for fear of not being enough. Today, I begin to untie these knots. Feel now as my voice touches your spirit. the weight lifting from your shoulders, as if an invisible hand were removing the burdens that aged you prematurely. I am restoring the color of your dreams and the firmness of your steps. But I have not yet shown you all that this silence holds for you. There is something I have saved for the darkest moments, a revelation that will change the way you see your own scars, and that will make you understand why certain doors had to close with such a bang. Before we continue this journey of restoration, let your heart speak to me. What has been trying to stifle your joy in recent days? Write here in the comments our word of surrender, declaring that you accept my invitation, my rest. And if you know someone who also feels that the sky is made of bronze, share this divine whisper with them, so that their hope may also breathe again. While my peace envelops your room and quietude restores your weary soul, I invite you to look into your heart. Do you realize how my voice was the nourishment that sustained you in the midst of the desert you crossed this week? Often gratitude is the key that opens the reservoirs of heaven. If this word of life is touching you now, if you feel that my love has found you in the silence of your home, I invite you to intimacy. If it is possible for you, only if it is truly possible, transform this overflowing feeling within you now into a seed of love through this channel. Consider my love and that of my Son Jesus, and contribute using the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. There you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount. If you want a different amount, just type the desired amount. And remember, only what fits in your heart. I receive with love. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is the heart with which you give. For what is little for you can be much for the one who receives. Whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart, please remember to include your name and city with your contribution. On the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel and page, Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 7, each one must give what he has decided in his heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to bear fruit. I watch in secret, and reward in the sight of all. Remain until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. At this moment, feel my presence envelop you like a mantle of protection. There is a peace you did not know coming towards you. Before we take the next step, answer me in spirit. What do you most desire me to heal in your silence? Write the word gratitude in the comments. Outside, the speed of the days tries to convince you that you are only what you produce, a cog that can never stop turning for fear of being replaced or forgotten. But here, in this small sanctuary that my love has built for you at this moment, time loses its breath, and the world with all its demands and metallic noises finally stays outside the door. Feel the freshness of the air entering your lungs now, free from the smoke of worries that suffocated you all week. Notice the silence that little by little fills the gaps in your soul, like a balm that flows over an open wound that no one else dared to look at. In this quietude that we share, I don't seek your performance but your truth. I see when you take off your shoes and feel the ground beneath your feet, a simple gesture that tells your soul that you have finally arrived home, to the place where you don't need to pretend to be stronger than you really feel. It is in this profound silence that I begin to stitch together the fragments of your heart, torn apart by harsh words and disappointments you kept secret so as not to worry anyone. You thought silence was a frightening void, a desert of solitude, but today you discover that it is my sacred workshop. It is the place where I dismantle your heavy armor piece by piece and show you that you don't need to fight all the battles the world has imposed upon you. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10, "Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." Feel the weight of this absolute truth. Being still is not an act of giving up. It is an act of recognition. It is admitting that the governance of your life is in my hands and not in your anxiety. When you silence your own voice and the voices of those who criticize you, my voice becomes the only frequency that truly matters. It is here, in the stillness, that I return to you the identity that the world has tried to fade over time. You are not the pain you feel, nor the mistake you made. You are my masterpiece, recovered and polished in the secrecy of my presence. But there is something I am moving right now while you rest in my presence, something that has been paralyzed for years within you, and that this stillness is beginning to unlock with a sweetness you did not expect. Do you feel this gentle warmth that begins to spread through your chest at this very moment? Before we move on to the next step in your deep healing, tell me honestly, what is the corner of your house or the moment of your day where you most feel my presence becomes real? Write here in the comments our word of trust, sealing this encounter in secret, my shelter. And if you feel that the peace you receive now is what someone you love also needs to survive today, share this light with them. I see when the early morning finds you still awake, your eyes burning with exhaustion and your heart racing with thoughts that won't quiet down. In those hours when the world has finally fallen silent, but your mind continues to scream, you need something more than just the emptiness of the room or the cold of the sheets. You need a companion who speaks the same language as your soul, a daily remedy to help you maintain this quietude even when the sun rises and the demands begin to knock on your door again with haste. If your heart desires to delve even deeper into this intimacy with me, I have prepared a gift in the form of a journey, written with all my zeal for my beloved daughters and sons, the digital book I call Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was created to be your support with each new sunrise, so that my voice may be the first sound your soul hears before the noise of the streets begins. The path to find it is right there in the link in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. Listen carefully. If today is not the right time to have it in your hands for any reason, don't blame yourself or feel sad about it. Remain here with me, for I will continue to sustain and guide you through this message with the same love. For it is written in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 and 23. The Lord's mercies are the reason we are not consumed, for his mercies never end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness, so that your soul may rest and you may have no doubt or confusion. As soon as you complete your registration, access will arrive directly at the email address you registered, with all the instructions explained step by step so that we can begin our daily conversation. Now close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath and feel that I am here, present in every beat of your heart. Our healing journey is only just beginning, and I have secrets about your restoration that will only be revealed if you continue listening to what I have prepared for the next few moments. Rest assured, stay here and trust, for I will never leave you alone on the path. Before we move on, let me ask you, if you could choose only one thing for me to renew in your life tomorrow morning, what would it be? Write in the comments our word of hope, renewal, and share this moment with someone who also needs a new dawn in their soul. I see the marks that time and the choices of others have left on your skin and, above all, on the invisible fabric of your soul. They are scars that you try to hide with rehearsed smiles and a strength that deep down you no longer possess. I was there when your world collapsed in silence, when the kitchen was cold and the only sound was your tears falling on the counter, while you wondered where I was. I was there, collecting each drop, keeping each sob as if it were a precious prayer. Feel my touch now, not as something distant or abstract, but as a gentle warmth that begins to envelop your tired shoulders, as if I were placing a cloak of pure wool over you in the midst of the harshest winter of your life. I do not come merely to observe your wounds. I come to pour the oil of my consolation upon each one of them. Do you feel that slight tingling in your chest? It is my power acting where no doctor or medicine could reach. I know the pain you feel when you remember those who left, the burning betrayal that still stings your memory, and the weariness of being the pillar of an entire house while you yourself feel yourself crumbling. I am tending to your traumas with the gentleness of one who knows every fiber of your being, for it was I who knit you together in your mother's womb. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 3, He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Do you realize how my word is not just an ancient text, but a living promise that is being fulfilled now, as you hear the sound of my voice? I am applying my balm to the rejection you suffered in childhood, to the cursed words spoken against your future, and to the feeling that you are never enough for anyone. To me, you are the most valuable treasure of creation, and I will not rest until your joy is complete again. But there is a specific wound, one you've never told anyone about, not even in prayer, because you think it's too ugly or too deep to be healed. I am touching on that very wound now, and you will realize that what was pain will transform into authority. In that moment of greatest shame, you didn't know what I truly saw. I saw the birth of an unshakable woman. Let me ask you from heart to heart, if you could feel my physical embrace today, what would be the first pain you would let fall to the ground? Tell me here in the comments, declaring that you accept my divine treatment. Heal me, Lord, and don't keep this healing to yourself. Send this message to that friend you know cries secretly in the bathroom, so she knows that the physician of physicians is visiting her home too. Many times you have mistaken my silence for my absence, and thought that while others move forward, you are forgotten in an endless desert. But I tell you now, as the wind gently rustles the curtain of your room, and the smell of fresh coffee fills the air, silence is not a sign that I have stopped working, but rather my sacred workshop, where I prepare your future away from prying eyes. You know how a seed needs the darkness and isolation of the earth to break through its shell and become a tree. So it has been with your life these past few years. You have been hidden by me, so that the roots of your soul might grow deep enough to support the abundance that is to come. I have seen your perseverance in continuing to walk, even when your feet felt as heavy as lead, and the horizon seemed unchanging. I am now opening the book where I have written your next chapters, and I want you to know that they will not be a repetition of the pains of the past. I am removing the stones from your path that caused you to stumble in 1998 and 2015. Those cycles of loss and humiliation ended the moment you decided to silence the world to hear my voice. For it is written in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 9, "But as it is written, what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love him." You feel the weight of glory that exists in this promise. What I have for you is not a copy of what you have seen happen in the lives of others. It is something unprecedented, specifically tailored for your story of overcoming. I am preparing a table before your enemies, and those who saw you cry in anonymity will have to see you honored under my light. Your waiting in silence has generated in you an authority that you do not yet fully understand. You have learned to discern my will and not be swayed by the noise of fleeting emotions. And it is because of this maturity that I can finally place in your hands the keys to doors that have been locked for over 20 years. But there is an even deeper revelation that I am saving for this encounter. Something about a promise you made to me on a stormy night, a promise you thought I had forgotten. At that moment when the sky seemed black and your voice faded from crying so much, I made a note in my heart about your request. And the answer is closer than your next breath. Tell me something, my daughter. What is the greatest dream you had buried and that you feel I am breathing life into now? Write here in the comments our word of trust, sealing that you accept my guidance, divine direction. And don't forget to be a channel of my light for another person, sharing this vision of the future with those who can only see the ashes of the past. I sat at the edge of your bed each of those nights when the darkness seemed endless, and the only sound in the room was the accelerated beating of your heart and the muffled sound of your sobs against the pillow. I saw you clutch the sheets tightly, trying to stifle a cry that couldn't escape, because you needed to be strong for others during the day. You thought you were alone in that emptiness, that the cold you felt in your feet and the lump in your throat were signs of my abandonment. But the truth is we were never closer than in those moments of absolute pain. I counted every drop that ran down your face and felt every spasm in your chest. To the world, your crying was a sign of weakness or defeat, but to me it was the purest language of your soul, a cry that crossed galaxies and reached my throne of grace directly. Not a single tear of yours fell to the ground and was lost in oblivion. I collected them one by one like one who guards priceless jewels. Do you remember that night, exactly 3 years ago, when you knelt on the cold living room floor and felt like your life had lost its meaning? I was there, supporting your spine so you wouldn't completely collapse. I validated your grief, your disappointment, and your weariness, because I know that the flesh is weak, but the spirit I placed in you is eternal. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 56, verse 8, "You keep track of my persecutions, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Feel the comfort of this truth. Your sorrows are recorded in my memory, and your silent weeping is a manuscript that I read with love and compassion. I do not despise your broken heart. I use it as fertile soil where I will plant your greatest victory. Those sleepless nights were not in vain. They were the gestation period of a new woman, a daughter who learned that her strength does not come from herself, but from my presence that envelops her in the midst of the valley. But know that the time of watering the earth with tears is coming to an end. I am transforming the liquid of your weeping into an anointing oil that will shine upon your head before all. What you thought would be your grave has become your secret garden with me. However, there is a secret I haven't yet revealed to you about why I allowed the silence of the night to last so long for you. Tell me, from the depths of your sincerity, what do you feel has finally died within you during those nights of crying, and what are you now ready to leave behind? Write here in the comments our word of liberation, declaring that a new time has arrived, my peace. And if you feel that this divine embrace can save someone else's night, share this light right now, so that no one else feels like they are crying alone in the dark. I see how your mind has been a battlefield in recent weeks, a whirlwind of unanswered questions that leave you feeling lost in a dense fog, where every step seems dangerous. I feel the weight on your neck and the pressure on your temples as you try to piece together this puzzle that life has thrown into your lap. There are so many voices, so much advice, so many external demands, that the sound of my voice has become just a distant whisper amidst all this noise. You look in the mirror, or perhaps at the reflection in the window as night falls, and you no longer recognize that determined woman you used to be. Confusion is the enemy's strategy to paralyze you. But today I am blowing a strong wind of discernment upon your soul, to dissipate all this smoke. At this very moment, I am placing my hand upon your head and commanding the chaos to withdraw. Feel the clarity beginning to emerge, like the sun breaking through the clouds after a 3-day storm. You no longer need to try to guess the future or suffer in anticipation of tomorrow's decisions. I am restoring your ability to see what is real and what is merely a projection of your fear. What seemed like a giant monster in the dark, under my light, you will see is nothing more than a harmless shadow. For it is written in the letter of James, chapter 1, verse 5, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Do you perceive my generosity? I do not judge you for being confused. I offer you my own mind so that you may decide in peace. From now on, when you speak to someone or when you have to sign that document that worries you so much, you will feel a flash of clarity, a profound knowing that does not come from your intellect but from my spirit that dwells within you. The time of indecision is over, but I haven't shown you everything yet. There is a specific protection that I have placed around your house and your family, an invisible shield that prevented evil from touching you at that moment when you felt most vulnerable and unprotected. You cannot imagine what I barred from your door while you slept the sleep of exhaustion. Before we continue, let me ask you, what doubt has been stealing your peace the most when you lay your head on the pillow in recent nights? Tell me in the comments, declaring that you accept my light, light in the soul. And share this message with someone you know who is going through a difficult dilemma so that the discernment of heaven may also reach them today. Have you ever felt a sudden shiver in the middle of the afternoon, or that unease that makes you check if the door lock is properly closed, even without knowing exactly what you're afraid of? I see the fiery darts launched against your mind and your home, arrows of discouragement, discord, and sickness trying to find a breach in your armor. But look around you now. In the silence of this room, I have erected a wall of fire that no human eye can see, but that all of hell is obliged to respect. While you were preoccupied with what your eyes saw, I was in the shadows of your hallway, watching over every entrance and sealing every window of your life with my precious blood. Many times, evil has tried to enter through a cursed word from a neighbor or through bad news that arrived by phone, but it hit an invisible barrier and fell to the ground. Feel the warmth emanating from the walls of your house now. It's not just the weather, it's my glory that has settled there to serve as a shield. As it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 4. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You are not exposed. You are not easy prey for the devourer. I am your fortress, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even in your moments of greatest distraction, when your mind wandered to vain worries, my hand was extended over your family. There was a specific deliverance last week, a meeting that didn't happen, a delay that annoyed you, but that was my way of taking you out of the line of fire. I work on the details you ignore to ensure your soul remains intact. I feel the cold breeze coming through the crack in the window, but know that no storm will have the strength to bring down the roof I hold up with my right hand. But protection is only half of what I am doing for you today. There is a seal of restoration that goes far beyond simply protecting you from danger. Something that involves returning what was stolen from you decades ago, and which I am about to give you in this very moment of stillness. In that instant when you felt the ground tremble, you didn't know what I truly saw. I saw your castle being fortified. Before we seal this moment of safety, let me ask you, in which area of your life do you feel the arrows of fear have been trying to strike you lately? Tell me in the comments, declaring that you dwell in my secret hiding place, my shield, and share this protection with that person you know lives in constant anxiety, so that they too may learn to sleep under the shelter of my wings. I saw the seasons when you looked at your garden and saw only ashes, where the years seemed to have been stolen by invisible locusts of anxiety, grief, and meaningless losses. Feel now the scent of wet earth, as if the first rain after a 10-year drought were falling exactly where your soil was cracked, dry, and lifeless. I will not only return what was lost, I will restore your history with the interest of heaven, transforming each tear into a seed of authority. The restoration I bring to you in this moment of stillness is not a patch on an old garment, but a new fabric, embroidered with the threads of my unfailing faithfulness, even when you doubt yourself. Do you remember how your identity was questioned, and how you felt like a stranger in your own home, as if there were no longer room for your dreams? Today, I place the ring of belonging on your finger, and the cloak of my honor upon your shoulders. I am restoring your table, your sleep, and your ability to laugh without fear of tomorrow. For it is written in the book of the prophet Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, "And I will restore to you the years that the locust, the cankerworm, the caterpillar, and the palmer worm have eaten, my great army which I sent among you." Feel divine justice working in the areas of your life that have been paralyzed since 1997 or since 2020. My seal upon you is eternal, and my word is the pledge of your victory. Do you feel that warmth rising up your legs and enveloping your heart? It's life beginning to circulate again where before there was only the cold of abandonment. I am rewriting your lineage, healing the pains of your ancestors within you, and ensuring that your children and grandchildren drink from the fountain of my peace. Your soul is no longer in pieces. It has been recovered and united by my unwavering love. But before we seal this journey, there is one last truth that I have saved for the end, a key that will lock your past of pain and open your future of glory. In this moment of total renewal, tell me one thing. What is the promise I made to you years ago that you thought would never be fulfilled? Write here in the comments our word of victory, declaring that you receive what is yours, my inheritance. And if you feel that my love has restored your breath, send this message to that woman you know feels forgotten by time, so that she may know that the God of restoration also knows her address. Now that the noisy voices of the world have finally been silenced by the sweetness and authority of my presence, you can breathe the truth that sets you free. This journey we have made together through stillness was not a simple video that crossed your path, but an embrace that I, your Father, gave you through words so that you do not give up halfway. You left the chaos for my rest, and now you return to your routine. But you do not return the same woman. You carry my light in your eyes and my peace as a shield that bad news cannot penetrate. I called you to this moment of silence because I needed to recover your soul from the hands of exhaustion. All you heard here was the echo of my heart seeking yours in the desert of your daily worries. Remember that phrase I promised to whisper to you at the end of this message. It's not just a biblical sentence, but your new armor to face any giant that rises tomorrow. It's the key that opens all iron doors. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Now write that phrase here in the comments as your act of faith, your seal of victory, and your answer to heaven. As you type these words, feel the divine strength flowing through your fingers and settling into your will. You are strong because I am your strength. You are capable because I empower you in secret. Never forget that my love for you is greater than any mistake you have made or any pain you have endured. My voice will continue to guide you if you remain connected to my frequency. There is much more that heaven wishes to reveal to you, and I await you in our next conversations here on this channel. Look for the other messages I left for you in our prayer list, for each one is a step on your ladder of healing. Go in peace, my daughter, and remember, in the silence of your soul, I will always be recovering what the world tried to destroy. Silence is now your strength. Your pain is now your testimony. My presence will be your only certainty.